Yo. Let's go. Hold on, I'm gonna put you guys on speaker. Hold on 1 second.
How do you ensure a good night's sleep while traveling? Bring your own pillow, travel with exercise equipment, request specific rooms, set a bedtime, etc.
I'm actually super not particular or fancy, so I ensure a good night's sleep because I leave it all on the field, the 18 hours that I'm awake, and so I'm so unconscious by the time it's time to go to sleep that I can fall asleep on nails in an Iraqi prison.
And what is a future question in terms of marketing current CEOs should be asking now so that their company is ready for the future?
The question should be, do we have a good understanding of where the consumer that we're trying to reach is spending their time and attention, and do we understand how to create the words, sounds, videos, and pictures that would influence them to do what we want them to do on and in those places?
How do you see the concepts of crushing it applying to intrapreneurs at a company as opposed to entrepreneurs starting their own thing?
You know, intrapreneurs are able to, if they're in the right corporations, they'll be able to produce content that would allow their seniority leaders to see some of their thoughts that maybe they wouldn't hear in a meeting or through the serendipity of crossing them in a halls or a business environment. And so they're able to share their opinions, thoughts, and ideas in a manner that would allow people to consume it, AKA a Medium post or a LinkedIn post that they would post has the serendipitous opportunity or strategic media planned opportunity for their boss's boss to read, and if her idea was phenomenal, that may lead to an opportunity within that organization.
If in a zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice?
My words. That was awesome, they loved it.
How can I separate myself from my company?
Do you have context if that person's asking how they can separate themselves from their company because they own that company?
Yes, business owner.
By being disciplined and understanding that your company isn't you and you aren't your company. That's a mindset strategy. You know, without a healthy separation of understanding that, it could really lead to a detrimental mindset.
Gary, if you could have a coffee and conversation with anyone in the world, and it can be someone from the past, alive or dead, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Outside of my two grandfathers who I never got to know, which would easily be the answer, we would talk about just the history of our family, their parents and grandparents. That would just be interesting to me. No question it would be Randy the Macho Man Savage. I'm super sad that I wasn't able to get to a place where I met him and got to have a conversation. He was such a great storyteller and like my favorite wrestler, and I think we would have talked about like early wrestling history, his baseball career, and why I think a lot of my content is inspired by him.
As an owner of a plumbing and heating company with 11 employees, do you feel that phone book, radio, and newspaper ads still work for marketing in my industry?
What was the first part? I heard the 11 employees, but not the rest.
As an owner of a plumbing and heating company with 11 employees, do you feel that phone book, radio, and newspaper ads still work for marketing in my industry?
I think they work. I think everything works. I think they're grossly overpriced. If you spend $1,000 on Yellow Pages and you get one customer from it, it worked, but it cost you $1,000. You know, to me, that same 1,000 gets you 4 customers on Facebook, even when you suck at it. So the answer is no, by the way it's asked. The answer is yes, because I'm trying to be nuanced here and educate people on LinkedIn and obviously my blog who's watching right now. So the answer is sure, but I think it's grossly overpriced, and that same money spent on Google and Facebook and influencers and podcasting would go much further.
they say no to different opportunities and focus on current goals and projects?
Poorly. I have big eyes and big ambitions, and I'm very curious, and so I struggle with this. I've gotten better over time, and that's because I've learned that it's not in my best interest, and so I wouldn't suppress it completely because that's what keeps you creative and entrepreneurial, but I think it's just an evolution of trying your best and always remembering what the prize is.
What types of content will exist in the future that don't exist today that you're excited about?
Probably holograms. You know, I can see that, and I'm excited about being in hologram form and marketing that way. And then probably 3 things that I've never even thought of in a million years. Inventions that don't even exist yet. I never, ever thought about self-driving cars until I first heard about it. I never thought about augmented reality and how people would see fake characters in my content until I heard about it. I never thought about virtual reality until I heard about it. I never thought about having a cell phone when cell phones didn't exist. So, things that don't exist.
What is the best way to close a sale?
By disproportionately over communicating and on the value props that person's looking for. Clear and concise communications in a deck or verbal form that are scratching the needs of that customer.
Does God believe in you?
What's that?
Does God believe in you?
Sure.
What's the best wine you've ever had?
1947 Cheval, Cheval, Blanc, Blanc.
Perfect. How would you approach changing how leadership occurs in today's education system?
Oh my God. I mean, this is how I'm going to answer this. What's that?
What would you change about today's education system if you could?
Everything. Like I don't even want to disrespect. This is how I want you to answer it. I don't even want to disrespect you, XYZ, from who asked this question by giving a half-assed answer. Meaning it's so binarily broken to me that I literally need to make a 45-minute documentary to answer that question. There's no 5 to 7 to 15 sentences that could even begin to allow me to tackle it. It's broken at its core.
Subway or McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Do you ever turn off social media? Do you ever take a break?
Yeah, when I go on vacation, on some weekends, during jet games, tons of time.
How did you get your start in investing? What tools or platforms did you use, and how did you broaden your understanding of the stock market?
I don't know anything about the stock market, so let me start there. And when it came to investing, I became friendly with some of the early employees of Twitter, which then allowed me to buy his shares, and that's how it started. It was just personal relationships that led to an opportunity to acquire some equity. And then from there, once I was a Twitter stockholder and Twitter exploded that year, other companies started coming to me, and I learned on the fly of what it meant to buy from employees, what it meant to invest in a Series A or B or a seed round. It was a learning by baptized by fire or whatever it's kind of.
Cool. So Pete from India said after he got his MBA, he went to a job, but then he left that job in 7 months because he wasn't learning anything and the growth was slow. And now he can't find a new job because he didn't stay at that job for 1 year. And he's been thinking about going and taking over his father's business, but the business has been bad. And now
now he's afraid, should I do that? And what if it fails and I won't be able to get a job after that either, because I haven't completed that I only lasted 7 months at a job and I failed at my dad's business.
And there's too many other jobs that don't give a shit about those 2 failures, so he should go into his dad's business ASAP, and there will be hundreds of people that are willing to hire him with those 2 strikes on his resume. My intuition is that he didn't try to go to enough places. I don't think every job in the world viewed him not working somewhere for a year as a scarlet letter.
How do you define kindness?
That's a great question. Somebody who brings warmth and value to somebody with no expectation in return.
What do you recommend for someone who is almost 24 and has a business and marketing degree but has no clue what they want to do for their career?
Do something.
What companies are screaming out to you currently to invest in?
I have no idea. I'm so closed to businesses right now. Like Phil Toronto is filtering that stuff for me, but I mean tons. I get hundreds of emails a day, but I literally pay them no mind. I'm totally checked out of investing right now.
What comes after social media?
I have no idea.
I would really appreciate any knowledge of how to start your first business with a really low credit score but over 5 years of experience.
Get somebody to give you money that isn't a bank. Or start selling shit from the beginning and make profit from the beginning and be patient. Raising capital is only one highly overpopular way to start a business.
You always say you have time, but what were you doing at 24?
I was working 15 hours a day in a liquor store in New Jersey. Making $47,000 a year in the process of building a huge business for my parents. Working 7 days a week, doing 0 things socially.
What's been the hardest part for you when it comes to leading people?
Not a lot, actually. I love it. I think I'm a real natural leader because I have 0 expectation of others. Firing. I would say firing.
Which marketing channel would be the best to consider in 2018 for the B2B sector?
Combination of Facebook and LinkedIn. And Google search. Google search and Google pre-roll, YouTube pre-roll videos based on Google search queries. ETF?
23 minutes.
Where
Thank
do you
you.
see yourself in 10 years?
I don't do that. I want this whole thing filmed. The spitting, the whole thing. What's up, YouTube?
What do you look for instinctually when you are researching your clients?
I don't research my clients.
Where do you go when you feel stuck?
Within my own head.
What's the one thing you know now that you didn't when you were younger?
God, a lot. I mean, everything. Like, I believe in experience tremendously. What really stands out? It's really funny how similar I am to when I was a kid. It's just an advanced version. I think everything, man. I just think everything. I would just put everything. It's the right answer. Thing.
How would you suggest older, more well-connected experts and later career individuals leverage LinkedIn and new tools to launch more successful business opportunities?
By sharing their wisdom and knowledge in written or video form at scale for free. AKA write a lot of things like, what did you learn when you were older that you didn't know when you were young, kind of pieces.
Suppose I just bought the New York Jets. What would become of Vayner? Also, are you happy?
I would start focusing on the New York Knicks, and I'm extremely happy.
Do you always feel ready, or are you ever nervous?
I always feel ready.
How do I get more clients for my consulting company? What small steps can I take today for the macro?
Start producing content on LinkedIn and Facebook and allow the content to be your lead gen to your business leads.
Is it good to help people even when we know they don't deserve it?
Yes. You don't help people based on them, you help people based on you. Giving is selfish.
What are your thoughts on having your team work remote or having them all in the same office?
I'm an all in the same office kind of guy because I like the touchy-feely and human interaction, but I think remote works. If you look at the 37 Signals founders, they love that, and others. I don't think it's a right or wrong. I think it's a very personal kind of thing.
That's what we got.
Wow, pretty cool.
Is Tyler with you? Did you record it?
Yeah, Tyler recorded everything. I'm gonna make a video just of the whole thing.
Awesome.
People watching this video, which was your favorite question and answer? Thanks for watching.